Welcome to Canada Inside, where clarity meets courage, and every truth deserves to be heard. While mainstream voices push the same tired stories, here we dig deeper, question the powerful, and reveal what others won't. You won't get empty headlines, you'll get context, facts, and real talk. So hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, and more importantly, make your voice count in the comments. Because together, we'll bring truth back to Canadian politics. While most of the media focuses on personalities and polling, something much more consequential just happened in Parliament, and almost no one is talking about it. Bill C-5, otherwise known as the One Canadian Economy Act, has quietly passed with federal backing and unexpected Conservative support. At first glance, it looks like a win for everyone. Faster project approvals. Fewer bureaucratic delays. Economic growth. But look just a little closer, and you'll see that what happened in Ottawa this week may reshape the balance of power between provinces and the federal government for years to come. At the center of it all is Prime Minister Mark Carney. Calm, calculated, and media-polished, Carney has managed to do what few Liberal leaders have done in years: pass sweeping federal economic reform with cross-partisan support. While progressives defend the bill as pragmatic and Conservatives highlight its efficiency, the truth is this legislation concentrates more power in the hands of Ottawa than we've seen in decades, and very few are sounding the alarm. Why does this matter? Because Bill C-5 allows the federal government to override provincial objections in the name of national economic interest. It creates a new federal commission that can fast-track so-called critical infrastructure projects, pipelines, energy corridors, mining operations, even if provinces object. And while it's being sold as a tool for economic unity, for provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan, it raises a critical question: who gets to decide what's in the national interest? Danielle Smith, Alberta's premier, initially welcomed the bill. And it makes sense why. Alberta has long pushed for more pipelines, faster development, and fewer environmental holdups from federal regulators. Smith saw an opportunity: get the infrastructure her province desperately needs, with or without the blessing of British Columbia or Ottawa's activist bureaucracy. But the deeper question is, who really controls the lever here? Carney appears to have handed Smith a win, but is it a real victory or a political trap? Because once the federal cabinet holds the power to greenlight any project in the name of national unity, what stops them from doing the same? To block one? Smith may believe she can ride this bill to deliver key projects for Alberta. But if the political winds change, or if Carney decides those projects are no longer in line with climate priorities, then what looked like a tool of empowerment may quickly become a tool of restraint. And by the time that happens, the precedent will already be set. What's most interesting is how quiet the Trudeau-Carney Liberals are about this power grab. There's no fanfare. No grand speeches. Just quiet, procedural progress. A few headlines. And yet, behind the scenes, Ottawa is building a new model of federal control, wrapped in the language of economic coordination. And some Conservatives, not all but some, are helping them do it. Why? Because the economy is sluggish. Projects are stalled. And the pressure to get things done is real. It's easy to say yes to a bill that promises action. But in politics, the devil is always in the details. And the detail that should concern every province is this: Bill C-5 sets the stage for future override of local autonomy. It gives Ottawa the legal and moral justification to push through projects, or shut them down, based on what it alone deems as critical. Danielle Smith is not naive. She's a skilled political strategist, and she knows the stakes. She also knows Alberta cannot afford to wait forever for energy approvals. But now that she has supported C-5, the question is, how long until that same federal law is used against Alberta instead of for it? Will Carney hold to his promise of partnership, or will this become another case of Ottawa moving the goalposts once it has the upper hand? Critics in the environmental movement have already noticed. They're warning that the bill could fast-track climate disasters and weaken Indigenous consultation. But others see something more subtle: a realignment. A shift in the way Canada handles energy, jurisdiction, and national priorities. And in that realignment, Carney has positioned himself as the grown-up in the room, the manager, the centrist, the technocrat who can get things done without drama. But what happens when Danielle Smith pushes too hard? What happens if the next project isn't one Carney likes? What happens when Alberta starts asking for the same autonomy that Quebec has exercised for decades? That's where this story turns. Because while Carney is winning legislative battles in silence, Danielle Smith is still building something more durable, a political movement. One that pushes back against federal overreach. One that says Western provinces deserve the same leverage, the same say, the same respect that Ottawa casually grants others. And that's the part Carney may underestimate. Danielle Smith is not trying to burn bridges. She's trying to build pipelines. Literally and politically. But she knows, perhaps better than most, that every inch of progress in this country has to be fought for, not begged for. As the federal government gains more legal tools to dictate national interest, provinces must be more vigilant than ever. Because what begins as cooperation can quietly evolve into coercion. Canada Inside will keep watching what happens next. Because Bill C-5 is not just a win for Carney, it's a test. A test of Danielle Smith's political instincts. A test of whether Alberta will get what it's been promised. And a test of how much power Ottawa really intends to keep. The next few months will tell us everything. At Canada Inside, we'll keep tracking these critical developments, cutting through distractions to expose what really matters. Subscribe, stay sharp, and join us as we uncover the forces shaping Canada's tomorrow. Because truth deserves a voice, and here, your voice has power. Let's reclaim the conversation together.